guys, so this is a long overdue video. You guys, I see your request. I know what you want me to do here. I just need time to do it. I am doing so many things. I mean, I'm running a business, I'm a wife, you know, I have a personal life, and there are things that I have to take care of on a daily basis. And so it's been pretty hard to try to find time to make my YouTube channel a priority, but I think it is now officially a priority. So today's video, like I said, is requested. If you want your requests, you know, to come through quicker, join my Patreon community, in particular if you're a fashion girl, because that's who I, you know, work really hard for as far as requests to get videos done. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with today's video with life-changing books. Okay, these are books that I have read or that I am currently reading that I feel are life-changing. Now, it doesn't mean that the book is the greatest book I ever read in the world. It just means that I've been able to pull out some ideas, some ideologies, some philosophies, and I've been able to make some connections and grow, whether that be spiritually, whether that be in business or in my personal life. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so the first life-changing book is not in this set right here. It's a book that I actually don't have a hard copy of anymore, and that is The Power of Positive Thinking. Let me tell you, this book I read a couple of years ago, probably about 4 years ago, and it was life-changing, and it really was the catalyst for me to be able to really start taking accountability for my life and changing some of my habits and changing the way I thought. Because you see, a lot of people don't understand that growth starts with how you think about yourself, how you think about life. That is really going to be the starting point for you to be able to change your life and get yourself to a point that you actually want to be at. So The Power of Positive Thinking, it does have a Christian premise, but I have heard of all types of people who have read this book, whether they are religious or whether they are non-religious. The principles that are taught in this book about the power of your mind is just, I can't even really put it into words how powerful this book was for me. And you can do a review up on YouTube. You know, you can go on YouTube and see many people have read this book. It is a highly popular book, and I highly recommend it because, like I said, it was life-changing, and it gives you practical situations and stories, and it just gives you a different way to think about life to get you started in the right direction. So if you are a negative Nancy, honey, and you need some positivity, you need to learn how to restructure your mind, how to think, this is the book for you. This is the book I would say start with if you're trying to transform your life. So the next book I'm going to talk about is The Four Agreements. This is also another popular book that a lot of people have read and that they do recommend. Now, what I love about The Four Agreements is this is like a handbook, like for life, like besides the Bible, obviously. This is a handbook for life, and it kind of gives you powerful principles about your code of conduct and how you need to think and maneuver throughout life. There is a code of conduct for life. There is a way that we have to carry ourselves and move in order to be successful, in order to have good relationships, in order to be free from the bondage of what society thinks about us and being successful and all the things that we all want in our lives. There are principles and values that you're going to have to create for your life. And this book kind of helps you with that. And in particular, I love the chapters on don't make assumptions. And it talks about just how you can't make assumptions about situations, about people. I also love the chapter on be impeccable with your word that talks about just keeping your word and always do your best and don't take anything personal is the one I think a lot of you need to read, because definitely in this age of social media, people take everything personally, and it really is a reflection of how you feel about yourself and how you view the world and your life experience. I I will always have this book. I will never give this book away. This is a book that I will read over and over again, because obviously sometimes you have to read a book more than one time to actually get, you know, to the meaning of it, and also to put it into practice. So I would highly recommend The Four Agreements. The next book is a book that I also do not have a physical copy of, and it is The Magic of Thinking Big. I absolutely love this book. My husband recommended this book to me, and we both read it together, and it was an amazing book because it's so inspiring. It's a super inspiring book about, you know, changing your mindset, putting different practices in your life so that you can actually reach your goals. And I love the book. It's a self-help book. I mean, all of these books really are self-help. That's my thing, obviously. Not really into fiction too much. I'm not really into, you know, reading books just to read them. I really want to read books to help me in the areas of life that I know I need growth with. And so I love, 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 love that book. You can actually listen to it here on YouTube. I'm somebody that loves physical books. You can also get it on Audible. Audible is another great resource. I love to listen to books, and that's very important to me because when I'm doing my makeup or when I'm, you know, straightening up around the house, you know, it's great to just be able to listen to a book. So I am somebody that leans more towards Audible. I do have a subscription with Audible, and I also like to get a physical copy of a book, because when you listen to it on YouTube, you do have to keep the app open. You can't close it, you know, and sometimes I like to listen to it when I'm going to bed. So, you know, those are just your options, but I do think you can listen to it here on YouTube. It is another powerful book that I think will inspire you to get up, get going, change your life, and reach your goals. The next two books are books that I'm currently reading, but so far I have really pulled out some gems, and I think they are life-changing gems. The first one is Big Magic. Now, obviously, the title kind of threw me off because I'm not into anything that relates to magic, but it's not about that. It's not like about, you know, the dark side. It's really just about understanding creativity and how to use your creativity. And being creative is very important to me. I am somebody that's always evolving. I'm always growing. And so this book really talks about embracing your curiosity. And I think that as children, we are able to embrace our curiosity, but as we get older, we're not able to embrace our curiosity as much because of life experience, because of fear. And so in this book by Elizabeth Gilbert, she talks about, you know, what she went through in her life when she had successes and what she did from that point. And she discusses the attitudes and the habits that we need in order to live a creative life. And that's very important to me because I am a creative. Not just here on YouTube, I'm a creative as far as like ideas and thoughts that I like to come up with for different products. My phone is going off. For different products and different services. And I'm always trying to stretch myself. And so I love this book, Big Magic. All right, the next book that I'm currently reading that I know will totally change my life, and it's something that we all need, is called If Not for the Grace of God. Now, this is a spiritual book by Joyce Meyer. Joyce Meyer is a pretty famous evangelistic preacher, I guess we could call her. I don't really follow her ministries like that, but I have read other books by her, and I do enjoy her writing. And one thing that I love about this book is that it talks about grace, because I think a lot of people don't understand what grace is and how grace is so important in your life as a Christian. And I think that people think when someone says, oh, I'm a Christian, that means that you have to be perfect, or you are perfect, or you look down on other people because you're trying to do the right thing and not the wrong thing. And I think people don't understand why we can hold our head up and know that God has got us is because of His grace. You know, we're not good enough. We're not holy enough. We could never do anything to earn God's love. He gives us that grace. And so this book talks about that, and it talks about God's grace for us, and it is backed in scripture, and it just talks about how God is able to meet all of our needs, and that we cannot earn grace. We cannot earn God's love. We cannot earn anything with our good acts. It's all by His grace. And so if you're somebody that's struggling with shame or guilt, you made some bad decisions in your life, you're trying to move forward with your life and do a new thing, I would highly recommend this book. If not for the grace of God, I'm currently reading this. If you have any requests for more topics like this, as far as what I'm enjoying reading, my favorite podcasts, things like that, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do a video on that. Reading is fundamental. Reading is powerful. Reading is how we learn. Reading is how we grow. I would highly recommend you read. I'm an avid reader, obviously being an English teacher. So I love to read whenever I have time, and I make time for it in my life. It's very important for me to read daily if I'm not listening to Audible or actually reading a physical book. Alright guys, I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for joining me. Links to my reading list will be in the description box below, as well as a link to Audible for you to join that subscription if you want to. Okay guys, bye!